everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower, and today we're talking about the best-selling games of 2021. Now, a couple caveats. This information comes from Game Nerds, a fantastic online game store. If you are looking for games online, they should be your first stop to go to. Check them out. But they are one source, but it's a good source, and so that's a source that I get the information from. They share their data with me. And so, of course, games come in and out of print. There's all kinds of factors, but I still find this sort of thing to be interesting. I will say I was not tremendously surprised by the results here, but we're going to go through these, and we're going through them by the quantity of games sold. So number 10 is Unmatched Cobble and Fog. Now, I guess you could technically maybe put this on expansions because it is an expansion for Unmatched, but it's also a base game. Unmatched, I know, is doing really well for restoration games. It's a very popular system where you take different people from time periods, and this one, Cobble and Fog, and Sherlock Holmes and different things. There's a lot of people playing that. This was one of the ones I was surprised was in the top 10, in a good way, of course. Number 9, Micro Macro Crimes City. This is the Spiel des Jahres winner of the year, the German Game of the Year. So whenever that happens, it gets a flood. But this Where's Waldo type game, as you look around on the map, trying to find a different people, very popular, very strong with families. Number 8 is Dinosaur World, the Kickstarter bundle. Now, this should surprise me because it's not a cheap game, but there's a couple factors. One, I saw it was on the top of the list all year round. The people just constantly were pre-ordering this. Now that it's out, people are enjoying it. And it's basically Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, the board game. Beautiful components, a lot going on in it. And we reviewed it this year. Check it out. That's Dinosaur World. Number 7, a perennial evergreen game, that's Quacks of Quedlinburg. Quacks of Quedlinburg, this pulling stuff from a bag, push your luck style. This is not a new game. It's been out for several years now, but it's very popular and one of the few games in the Dice Tower library that I have multiple copies of. Number 6, The Crew, Quest for Planet 9. This is the first version of The Crew, the original game. This trick-taking cooperative game. Everywhere I go, I've taught it, and it has done really well. Non-gamers, people like trick-taking games like to play it. People like cooperative games. It's a lot of fun. Number 5, this one's a surprise to me, Hansa Teutonica Big Box Edition. So Hansa Teutonica is a very popular game from years ago with a boring theme, but it's obviously popular enough, a great engine building game. Now that I see this on here, I'm thinking I need to give this one another whirl. I enjoyed it at the beginning when I played it, but I kind of let it go off because, you know, it's kind of hard to be like, do you want to play Hansa Teutonica? Maybe it's time to play it again. Number 4, no surprise at all here, we have Wingspan. Wingspan, it just sells all the time. We just found out recently it sold over 1 million copies. Well, then no surprise here, it's number 4. Number 3, The Crew breaks the list twice. This is the new version of The Crew Mission Deep Sea. And it's higher on the list, but obviously because it's newer this year, so more people are going to buy it, I think. In fact, I'll make the call that this possibly will be on the list next year, and the other Crew won't, because this one is probably going to replace it for most people. The original game was great. The new one, even better. Number 2 and number 1 here are no real surprises if you follow these lists at all. Number 2, which one is which is more of the surprise. Number 2 is Dune Imperium. This deck building worker placement game based in Dune. Obviously going to get a resurgence from the movie finally being released this year, but it's just a solid game. The expansion came out, the upgrade pack. There's a lot going on. Definitely worth checking out. And number 1, also a deck-building worker placement game, although that's the only similarities between this and Dune Imperium, is The Lost Ruins of Arnak from CGE. Both very, very popular games, and again, these were not a surprise to see them in the 1 and 2 positions. If we go by money, revenue amounts, Gloomhaven pops on the list at number 10, Nemesis shoots up to number 4, and Descent Legends of the Dark is at number 2, but that's because those games are quite pricey. All right, let's take a quick look at the top 5 selling expansions of the year. So number 5, we have Marvel Champions, Rise of Red Skull. The Marvel Champions, as I said in one of the videos prior, the little packs of Marvel Champions we don't include in this list because they would be 1 through 5. They're not necessarily a full expansion, while the Rise of Red Skull is a bigger one, so I do include that. And then Mad Titans was actually number 8, so 2 of those made the list. Number 4 is Twilight Imperium, 4th edition, The Prophecy of Kings. And again, this is by quantity, so that's pretty high for a pretty expensive expansion. Number 3, Dune Imperium, Rise of Ix. As the game is popular, so is the expansion. Number 2, Lost Ruins of Arnak, Expedition Leaders. Again, as the game is popular, so is the expansion. And considering both of these weren't available in the first half of the year, I think they would be number 1 and 2 had they been available all year round. But the expansion that was available all year round and very popular game, Wingspan Oceania. This expansion has been getting mostly positive, but not like stellar reviews, because some people who don't like it, but it doesn't matter. It's an expansion for Wingspan, so therefore it's number 1 on the list. So there you go. Those are the top 10 best-selling games of 2021 and the top 5 best-selling expansions of 2021. I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching the Dice Tower. Check out Game Nerds. We'll see you next time.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.